Well, guys, it's starting to look like there's only one guy in the division who can give Merab some real problems. And obviously, that guy is Umar Nurmagomedov. Yeah, I said it. Now, I already know some of y'all are going to be typing right now, bro, Merab already beat Umar. And yes, I'm very aware of that. But let's be honest, okay? That fight was razor close. You can run it back 10 times, and half the MMA community is still going to argue about who won round 3. It's one of those fights where nobody really got exposed. It just showed you how evenly matched these two are. And the more time that goes by, the more crystal clear it becomes, okay? That rematch has to happen eventually. Now, I'm not saying that Umar needs the next title shot. Far from it. Let the guy get one more win, maybe against a Figueiredo, a Song Yadong, somebody that tests him. But let's be honest, unless something crazy happens, Umar's probably getting past whoever that is. The man is too talented, too technical, too composed. Meanwhile, Merab's out here running through contenders like a machine on autopilot, okay? He's breaking takedown records. He's out working dudes who are known for their cardio and somehow look fresher after 5 rounds, He's like if cardio had a human form. So let's not kid ourselves. He's probably going to beat whoever they throw him next to. Whether that's Peter Yan, which they are throwing him to, and he's going to run through him. Whether it's Sean O'Malley, whoever. And when the dust settles, you can already see it coming. These two guys are going to collide again. It's like one of those rivalries that just have to come full circle. The first fight was a chess match inside a hurricane. All right, clean striking from Umar, non-stop pressure from Merab, momentum swing back and forth. And the craziest part, both guys have improved so much since that fight. And the craziest part is both guys still have a ton of room for improvement. That's exactly why I want to bring this up today, man, because no matter which side you were on in the first fight, you can't lie. Both these dudes had their moments. Umar showed that elite, distant control, that sharp boxing. He was tagging Merab early, but then Merab does what Merab does. Once the pace starts rolling, even a guy as technical as Umar started to fade a bit. So today I want to just really break this down. How this rematch could actually look different this time. Where each guy can find success, what holes they can expose in each other, and how both of them have leveled up since then. So look, man, I think the big narrative going into that first fight was pretty simple. Everyone was saying Umar has the striking advantage, and yeah, that was true back then, and it's still kind of true now. Umar's cleaner, more technical, more polished on the feet, but here's the thing. Merab's got hands now, bro. Like, I'm not saying he's turning into a boxer overnight, but ever since that first fight, with Umar, he has shown massive improvement. He outstruck Sean O'Malley and even rocked Corey Sandhagen, which is crazy. Nobody expected that. It's not like he's out there chasing knockouts, but the fact that he's mixing in his striking with his wrestling so naturally now, that's dangerous. He's setting traps, he's throwing feints, he's getting guys to bite, and then chaining right into the takedown sequence. And that's what makes this version of Merab a whole different animal. He's not just shooting for his legs, he's building layers. You jab, he level changes. You sprawl, he cuts an angle. You circle, he's already on your hips again. It's like he's figuring out how to hide his intentions under actual striking now, which makes everything he does twice as hard to read. Now, yeah, Umar still has the better pure striking. I'm not going to argue that. His jab is clean, his kicks are fast as hell, his movement is sharp as a blade, but let's keep it real. He's also hittable. And that was something that wasn't as obvious until recently. You look at his fight with Mario Batista, or you look back in his fight with Beksek, Umar's been getting touched up a little more than people want to admit. He's been dropped twice. Batista caught him clean with that knee and dropped him. Beksek landed a good shot too before he got outclassed. So as good as Umar is, the man is not untouchable. And let's not forget, Merab actually stunned him in the first fight too. He took him down right after. So if Merab's striking is better now than it was back then, and Umar's defense is still kind of the same, that changes a lot. That means Merab's pressure and pace could be way more effective the second time around, especially if he lands shots on the way in. And honestly, I watched Umar's last fight with Batista, and I didn't see anything brand new. Now, don't get me wrong, it was domination. It was clean, the kicks, the movements, the wrestling, all of it. It looked great. But it was also the same recipe, the same rhythm, the same pace, the same approach. He's good at what he does, and it still works. But against a guy like Merab, that might not cut it. Because here's the key difference. Merab won't move backwards. You can't push him around. He's going to make you fight off your back foot for 25 minutes. And that's something Umar still hasn't shown that he consistently do. And that's where I start getting a little bit nervous for him, man. Because even though Umar dominated Batista by the end of the fight, you could tell he was gassed. That was a 3-rounder. And the guy could barely talk on the mic afterward. He was breathing hard and heavy. His face looked drained. Now imagine Merab consistently chain wrestling, consistently clinching, dragging him into deep water. It's not the same game, dude. I don't know. I don't know if you can fix that overnight. But with all that being said, let's talk about Umar, man, because as much as I'm hyping up Merab right now, we can't act like Umar doesn't have some advantage. He's not some average dude. He's not just going to get bullied. The guy is different. He's got that family blueprint, bro. You know, every Nurmagomedov walks around looking like they're spawning out of a wrestling simulator with a black belt added on top of it. The dude's timing, his composure, his balance, it's all elite stuff at the end of the day. When he's on, Umar moves like he's flowing, you know, his distance control, the way he switches stances mid-combination, the way he sets traps with feints. It's beautiful, dude. It's art. And when he lets his kicks fly, you can hear them. He's probably got the cleanest kicks in the whole bantamweight division right now. Inside leg kicks, body, head, and when he mixes it up with the threat of the level change, it's a nightmare for preparing for it, let's just be honest. But here's the thing, and I'm just keeping it real. Umar sometimes fights like he's got something to prove. Like, he wants to show the world, yo, I'm not just another wrestler, I can strike too. And that's where he got caught slipping. You do not outbox Merab. You just need to hurt him in the early rounds to make him think twice about crashing into the pocket. That's the difference between showing off and showing up. And honestly, that's where I think Umar needs to go and make some of the adjustments. He doesn't need to go full technical mode the whole fight. He just needs to mix in that Dagestan and grind a little early. When he fought Batista, he looked good, but it was kind of like he was playing it safe. He was sticking to a game plan, but there was moments where you could tell that the explosiveness wasn't fully there. Like, he was cruising more than dominating, if that makes sense. But I'll tell you what, man, one thing's for sure, Umar can't let Merab drag him into a phone booth again. If he gets trapped there, it's going to be like deja vu. But if he can keep the movement crisp, pick his shots, and throw those knees when Merab blitzes in, he can flip the whole narrative back around. So let's get specific, man. What does Umar need to actually do in this rematch? Because the way I see it, he doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. He just needs to tune it up and stop letting Merab take control of the drive. First off, I think Umar's got to match his output better in that first fight. He came out clean, snapping that jab, circling beautifully, you know, mixing in those teep kicks to the body. And for a while, it was working. But once Merab started walking him down, Umar kept trying to match his pace. And that's the number one mistake in my opinion. You don't have to try to out-hustle the cardio king. That's like trying to out-breathe a fish underwater. You fight him smart, not hard. He needs to pick his moments, throw 3 or 4 meaningful shots, and then get the hell out of there and dodge. Don't stay in the pocket for too long, you know, make Merab reset, make him work for every inch of space. You can't fight a guy in long extended exchanges. He'll just drown you in the scramble and fence pressure. Next, Umar's got to use those front kicks, man, way more. That's his best weapon against a pressure wrestler like Merab. It's basically a jab with your foot. Every time Merab tries to close the gap, stab him in the gut with the teep. Do not let him get comfortable in that middle zone where he can shoot comfortably. Merab wants, you know, to make it a chaos pretty much. He wants contact. You beat him by keep making him uncomfortable. Third thing, in my opinion, stop backing up in straight lines. That's a big one. Merab lives for that. He cuts you off, drives you to the cage, and that's where his whole game starts. Umar's got to angle out more. If Merab pushing forward, Umar needs to slide laterally, hit him with the check hook, or pivot off and make him chase. That's how you frustrate him and make him burn gas instead of yours. And yo, if Umar does get taken down, which he probably will because it's Merab, he can't just waste energy panicking or trying to explode up right away. He needs to focus on control, wrist control, and creating slow get-ups. That's where Merab wins minutes. When the guy's burning themselves out, scrambling like a maniac, if Umar can keep it calm, control posture, and make Merab restart. Oh, and he's got to stop forcing takedowns of his own unless they're reactive. Every time Umar shoots first, he risks giving Merab a sprawl and brawl opportunity, or worse, ending up with the Georgian blender. If Umar's gonna wrestle, it has to be counter wrestle. Make Merab pay for everything. You know, when he's being too aggressive, ducking under a sloppy punch, get behind him, and just, you know, score clean. Now, here's the sneaky one. Target the body early. People sleep on this, but that's how you slow him down, like volume guys. You don't drain the gas tank by matching his cardio. You take the fuel out of the tank. Body kicks, teeps, step in knees. If Umar invested in that in round 1 and round 2, you can probably see Merab slow down by round 4. Who knows? This guy looks like he never gets tired, but mentally, Umar's got to stay composed. And if he can just bank the first 3 rounds, he's got it. But let's look at the Merab side real quick, because as much as we talked about Umar, what he needs to fix, Merab's not bulletproof either, but he's one of the ones who actually won, so the blueprint's already there. He just has to tighten it up and double down on what's already working. I mean, first off, the number one thing that Merab needs to keep doing, and I mean religiously, is that pressure. That's his superpower. Most fighters try to conserve energy. Merab treats cardio like it's a weapon of mass destruction. He doesn't give you a second to breathe. He's like a Wi-Fi signal. Even when you think you escaped, he's still connected somehow. But here's where it gets interesting. Merab's pressure works best when it's layered. It's not desperate. In the first Umar fight, there were moments where he was just spamming takedowns. Let's just say how it is. Now he's more smarter about it. Against Sandhagen, he wasn't just shooting, he was setting up with combos, throwing hands first, getting a reaction, and then shooting behind it. The next thing is that he's got to keep that striking confidence going. I know it's weird to talk about Merab's hands, but let's be honest. The man's gotten way better on the feet. The dude rocked Corey Sandhagen, like rocked him. Nobody saw that coming. That's how you know he's leveled up. And even though Umar is still the cleaner striker, the fact that Merab's mixing things up now makes him way harder to predict. Now, if I'm in Merab's corner, the main message is simple. Break his rhythm. Umar loves the flow. He wants space, he wants bounce, he wants distance. So Merab's job is just to cut the bounce in half every single time. Crowd him, make him reset. Make him uncomfortable. If Umar gets time to, think, he starts downloading patterns, don't let him download the fucking software. It's that simple. And honestly, man, if it's not broken, why fix it? Merab's the only guy between the two who's already proven his formula works. I think Umar is a hell of a fighter. He's super skilled, he's technical, all that. But Merab is just different. He's built in a way that most people can't handle. I don't know if he could beat Merab right now, man. I just don't know. I honestly believe that Merab is Umar's kryptonite, okay? And I think the rematch might go, semi-similar. It'll be competitive at first, but then I think Merab is just going to take over. He's a freak. He's not human, yada, yada, yada. But that's just my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, I'll see you on my next one.